Alright guys. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be Today we're going to be showcasing all ink sands. So the first sands, in Undertale Final Multiverse with Butterfly in the title, it's found in the Doodle Sphere. And he cost 1,200,000 hate. And yeah. Let me just get my Sorry about that. Just needed to turn that down. Sorry. It's pretty loud, if you can hear that. So I'm just going to turn this down. I'm just going to turn that down. But anyway. Ink Sands. His first attack is Sands Help. It summons Sands to make a spinning moan, which deals 130 damage each hit. You can press 2 for Swap Help, which summons Swap Sands to do a Bone Wave. Then a blue bone wave, and then another normal bone wave. So just to see what the damage. It deals pretty good damage, actually. But it appears that you have to have it be pretty close for all of it to hit, so it's kind of bad to hit. You can press 3 for Fell Help, which summons Fell Sands, to shoot like about 7 blasters, which deal pretty high damage in general. So, next is Ink Brush, which is a melee tool that deals really high damage, 900 damage to be exact. It's not like anything to kill Error 4, but it's really good against like lower tier sands than yourself. You can press 5 for Ink Blasters, which summons about 3 blasters, which will shoot forward and deal pretty good damage, enough to kill a 900 HP person, which is not surprising, but still. So, next is Ink Slash. Basically, use your brush to like make a air wave out of ink. That deals 130 damage, as most other attacks do. It's a pretty good projectile, as it has a really low cooldown, as you can see. So, yeah. So that's about it for normal ink sands. Next, let's get into the next ink sands. The next ink sands. Here's the next ink sands. Again, yeah, Underverse ink sands. I forgot for a moment. So, Underverse ink sands has a lot more attacks. All of them pretty useful. It's pretty good. So, your first attack is Underverse Ink Dash, or just UV Ink Dash, which is a pretty good dash. As you can see, it's enough to make it from the bridge all the way to this little golf thing right here. So it's good enough. But it has a pretty big cooldown. So next is UV Ink Void. Causes like a giant pool to erupt from your cursor, which can deal very high damage very fast. And also has a big range and stuff. So yeah. So the next attack, luckily my ult account's on right here, is Ink Bones, which summons a lot of bones and fires them for all of them dealing pretty high damage, if I do say so myself, and relatively low and really low cooldown, actually. Pretty spammable, in fact. You can press 4 for UV Ink Slash, which is Ink Slash, but it deals 160 damage instead. You can press 5 for Bone Assault, which summons like a lot of bones. How much damage do the regular ones do? 160? How much damage do these do? Relatively low cooldown, by the way. But as you can see, kind of hard. Oh, really low cooldown. Kind of hard to hit. And deals 160 damage each hit. You can press 6 for Ink Blaster, which summons 3 Ink Blasters, which summons 3 blasters, which deal about 40 damage each hit, maybe 60. So, yeah. So, next is... God, I'm sorry about this, but, okay, I'm really sorry about this, guys. Okay, anyways, I'm not even going to bother to get up there in time. Instead, I'm going to bring my alt account down here. Alright, so next is the Ink Blaster. It's the same except there's one blaster and it deals 160 damage each hit. Instead of the... No, wait, no, both of them deal 160 damage. The 6th one doesn't, just deal 140 damage. And finally, UV Ink Brush. It's Ink Brush, but it deals 1,800 damage, which is a lot of damage. But you probably already know that, of course. So the next one is Shaghivania. Shaghivania doesn't really have much of this special, a lot of summoning. It's the real person he summons is really just phase 3, and that's about it. I mean, not phase 3, literally just regular Sans, but still. You can press 1 for Shaghivania Sans Health, which summons Sans to deal a lot of random blasters that deal 200 damage each hit, really good. Enough to kill sudden changes that fast, which is surprising, to say the least. So next is Shaghivania Dash. This dash, it's not that good, really. It might as well be worse than normal Ink, but I think it's more low cooldown than Ink's. But I don't think it covers that much of a range, but I think it still is better. So next is Shaghivania Ink Void. It's basically the same, but more damage. I couldn't see exactly how much damage, but still. So, okay, that's one here. Next is Shaghivania Bones. It summons a lot of bones that travel forward. The first being a regular bone, next orange, next blue. It's better just to dash / shortcut out of this. Maybe even jump over them. They haven't even dealt any damage so far. Oh, speak of the devil. It deals pretty good damage. Next is Shaghivania Bone Zone. It's just a regular bone zone, but it doesn't have the indicator. So, yeah. And deals 200 damage each hit. So next is Shaghivania Giant Blaster. It's just a big blaster. Couldn't see exactly how much damage it does, but it probably does pretty high damage, if I do say so myself. Great, I spawned here. I'm not even going to bother to walk here with my alt account, by the way. Sorry for all this delay. I wish I knew how to edit so I could transition, but still. So next is Shaghivania Blasters, which summons multiple blasters in a row that deal about 200 damage each hit. I'm assuming that's the damage for this, too. Yeah, that's the damage for that. I can test it on myself. I'd probably be a lot more smarter, but still. Next is Shaghivania Blaster. It's the same as Blasters, but only one. And finally, Shaghivania Ink Spinning Bone, which is a spinning bone that deals 200 damage each hit and is pretty fast, has pretty big range. It's pretty good spinning bone in general. Yeah, I made this its own thing because there's a lot of ink Santas. I might have to just not even include Insanity Ink Sans in here. Yes, there is an Insanity Ink Sans in here that you're about to see very quickly. So, no, it's not there. it's in here. Next is Dust Ink Sands. Dust Ink Sands is actually before Shag Hibania Sands, so I'm sorry about that. But anyways, he has Dust Ink Dash, which is about the same as normal Ink Dash, in fact. Next is Dust Ink Brush. It's a brush that deals 2,000 damage. Dust Ink Bones. 180 damage each. It's literally Underverse Ink's bones, but they deal more damage and look slightly different. Next is Dust Ink Random Blasters. Summons a lot of blasters that go out random directions and deal 180 damage each. Dust Ink Void, which is a regular void that deals 180 damage. It's the same as most of its predecessors, really. Dust Ink Quintuple Blaster, which summons 5 blasters forward that deal 180 damage each. Dust Ink Blaster, 180 damage. And Dust Ink Giant Blaster, which deals also 180 damage. So, it seems like I can include this with the time that I do have. The final Ink Sands is a Game Pass Ink Sands. Insanity Ink Sands. I don't think there's any more Ink Sands anyway. There better not be any more Ink Sands. If there are, I'm probably going to have to make a different video if I even do get those Ink Sands. But enough talking about Ink Sands. It's time to talk about Insanity Ink Sands specifically. So he holds Error's head instead of like Ink Papyrus or something, which is, I guess it's unique. So he has access to Insanity Ink Brush, which I'm going to have to test out on my alt account. And of course, I got myself, oh, it broke out. Okay, that's good. Anyways, it deals 1,600 damage. Insanity Ink Blaster, which is like the best dash out of all of them, I think. Probably not. Shag Hibana, might be better. But it's a pretty good range blast that has a pretty low cooldown. Might be the same as the regular one, though. Next is Insanity Ink Dark Blood Pillars, which summons a lot of pillars that deal about 150 damage each. Next is Insanity Ink Dark Blood, which is a void, which deals 150 damage each hit. Insanity Ink Spinning Bone, really fast spinning bone, which deals 150 damage, made out of ink and stuff. Insanity Ink Blasters, which summons about 3 blasters, which deal 150 damage each rapidly. Insanity Ink Blaster, 150 damage each. And Insanity Ink Huge Blaster. This is by far the biggest blaster in the game, but that doesn't affect it much. It still only does 150 damage. But we're just going to bring our alt account in here, just for me to see this scale. Might have to make a second game capture, but still. These ones are the same. Wait. Never mind that. Sorry. Anyways. Just for size, I'm gonna see how much it is here. Oh wow, that is a giant blaster. I just looked at that on my old account, I'm sorry. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. If you didn't, then maybe leave a dislike and tell me why you didn't like it. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's all I have to say.